Talk Nerdy to Me, the show presents the Flashpoint Paradox Vidcast with her hosts, Pablo Gunner,
the Ambassador,
and we're sponsored by
Kaboom Test Labs,
Age of Comics,
and Twin Suns.
We're going to be reviewing, the Flashpoint Paradox film, the DC animated film, as you see behind us here. We're going to be talking about it while it's going on behind us. Hopefully that's not too distracting, but hopefully it's distracting enough that you still catch some moments, but not the entirety of it, So we're doing an audio and we're doing video, so...
Yeah, so pretty much the audio will have most of the content, except for we're just doing the video just so you can see a few of the
best
cool
points.
things.
Yeah, we want to hit on the best points and do like an overall review for video, so you can just see some of the best stuff. Right now we have Barry, and he's a little boy, and he's kind of you right away you get a sense of like where he gets his
his morality.
His morality. Yeah, exactly. And then he shows up at home on his mother's birthday at her death scene.
Yeah.
Essentially. I don't know. I don't want to spoil the actual book for you or for our listeners, but in the book, this scene is a lot more messed up. I mean, they hint at it a little bit in this movie, and I'll tell you when it gets to that part, but it's a lot more messed up.
That's a quote you hear a lot in this movie, is accepting things you can't change.
Yeah.
It keeps getting re-emphasized throughout the whole movie.
Well, the thing is, too, is that there's certain things that you shouldn't change. Like, there's certain things you shouldn't mess with. What I really like about this part is it shows the rogues in this. You see the rogues. Thing is, they suck.
Yeah.
Pre-New 52, they were really lame. Like, Mirror Master literally looks like he stole some lady's handbag, and he took out the mirrors from a woman's compact, and then uses them to shoot mirrors at him. It's so dumb.
Or even Captain Cold, it's like, really? He's just like dressed up like he's ready for the cold, but has a gun.
But he has a gun, yeah, or he has two guns, I think. But
yeah.
And then Captain Boomerang has boomerangs. It's pretty lame.
Pretty much the closest one to being cool is Captain Boomerang, which is
really
sad.
I would say Captain Cold is the coolest one.
I just don't. It's stupid him dressing up for the cold if he just has the guns and no power.
And it's supposed to be warm too, where they're at.
It just doesn't make sense.
It's supposed to be like San Francisco-ish, right?
Yeah, San Francisco-ish, yet he's almost dressed like an Eskimo.
Well, they're all dressed up in like outfits. The top is the worst, though. He just had horrible rogues. I honestly don't know how people can say that he had great rogues when they're just cheesy as hell.
There's a reason why they had to make Reverse Flash.
Yeah, because he's a legitimate threat. So, and the thing is, and that's something that's mentioned in the book, in the Flashpoint book, is that Flash can't go to the past without the treadmill. Reverse Flash, his powers are kind of the same and the opposite of the Flash at the same time, so he can go backwards, but he can't go forwards. So Flash can go forwards in time, but he can't go backwards in time without the Cosmic Treadmill, I think it's called.
Something like
I think it's Cosmic Treadmill. But Professor Zoom, which they call him by his actual name a lot in this, which is, I couldn't figure it out watching the movie. I had to read it in the book, in the Flashpoint book, and it's Eo Bard Thawne, Thawane, so in this I thought I heard like Eo Bart Thawne and like just all these different, and I was like, how is that spelled? I need to know what that looks like, otherwise I don't know how to say it right.
Yeah, even though I like the conversation with Batman in this, where it really kind of makes fun of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really, what kind of name is that?
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know, some weird future name.
But yeah, it's really cool. I mean, right away they have Professor Zoom, Reverse Flash show up, and they obviously show that he is a real threat. Versus, and they even say that in the movie. They say, "Oh, these guys are just greedy. They're just here for money and for revenge. But I'm here because I hate your guts and because I just want to destroy you. You know, I just want to ruin you and everything about you." And then he calls his buddies in, which was really cool because it's like, oh, you have your crew, I got my crew, you know, and that was really cool. The back and forth between him and Green Lantern, classic. I love the voiceovers in this. They had Kevin Conroy for just plain Batman, and then Hal Jordan was, God, what's his name from Firefly? Nathan. Oh God, I can't remember his name. He should have been Hal Jordan in the movie. I don't know why they didn't pick him instead of picking Ryan Reynolds. I think he would have been way better. And I can't remember his actual name. Yeah, they each have these devices strapped to their waist, and they're trying to find out ways to stop them. And so they come up with, each one has their different attempts, and it was really cool. The animation, didn't mind it that much, but when I saw Superman's face, it looked very awkward and flat.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't enough lines, there wasn't enough. But yeah, it's neat how each person comes up with their different ways, you know. Batman and Green Lantern, Wonder Woman. I thought the funniest one. I thought this was the best one. Aquaman, I think, was the best one because it was just like
the Wonder Woman was kind of like it didn't make much sense.
Why? How didn't it make sense?
It did, but it didn't because really you're gonna just throw an explosive into the air and hope that works. You don't even know.
You hope the explosion is not that bad.
Yeah, it seems like stupid and doesn't make sense to.
Right, because Batman and Green Lantern went up into space to make sure.
Yeah.
But that's Batman and Green Lantern, though. Let's be honest. You know.
Yeah.
Not to say that Green Lantern is smart, but you know.
Batman is, so he makes up for it.
Yeah. And on top of that, I loved Superman's the most because he just grabbed it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm Superman. I'm just gonna put it on my palm.
I'm just gonna hold it. Yeah, but it was like really homoerotic because it was like he was like holding because it was on the guy's belt. And he's just holding it, and he's kind of like looking at the guy, and he's like, oh, "What's going on?
What's going on? I got this.
Just hanging out. Yeah, I got this. Don't worry about it." And he's like, you know.
He's all terrified. It's like, come on, why are you terrified with Superman right there?
Yeah. But yeah, it's so great. Like they show there, the ingenuity of Flash and his powers. I mean, you know, that was something that was cool that they showed. So, but yeah, Barry Allen wakes up, you know, in his at the I guess the precinct or whatever, you know, that he works for, because he's a lab tech for a police department, right? He does the evidence and all that stuff. So. There's some weirdness going on. People have different names and stuff like that.
And then he goes to become Flash and he just trips. I love that.
Yeah.
And then of course his mother.
Yeah. So, but here we have the Flashpoint Batman, and he's voiced by a different person. He's voiced by I don't know his name in the Grey's Anatomy show, but he's the redheaded guy. I think his name's Michael McKidd or Jason McKidd. I'm not sure. I put it in my written review. So, but we have this rip-off character of, who'd you think? Harley Quinn, right?
Yeah.
And the big difference that you can see right away,
Batman was gonna kill her.
Batman, he just threw her off the roof. The other one is he looks different. Obviously, the costume, he looks really hardcore.
But he looks... But even when you look at him, you're like, wow, he hasn't aged that well at all.
Yeah, he looks a lot older in this. And then, like you said, they have Steve Trevor. That was really cool. I really... I love the tie-ins. I mean, with the characters, I feel like this was an important... for me, this was an important scene.
Yeah.
Now...
It doesn't tell you what's happening yet, but it kind of hints that at least the Amazons are psycho.
Yeah, they're extreme. Yeah, for sure. And what happens to Steve Trevor in this, they don't show in the books. And I feel like that was something that, if they would have shown it in the books, I would have been like, it would have shown me how different she is and why. Whereas this is the first time we see Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
In this. Well, you get the gravity of how dark she is, how messed up, how different she is in this timeline. The thing that they don't do very well on, though, is the why. So, but yeah, this Batman is so different, so much darker.
I love it too. He says Bruce, and that just makes him go crazy.
It does. It just boils his blood.
But it's cool. You see, like, where Bruce gets his detective skills from this scene. I love it. Because he does this, and first it's just Batman amusing him.
Yeah.
By going, yeah, that could happen.
Right.
Kind of like the mind of a detective.
Now, for me, I felt like this scene didn't really have much of a purpose, except for that of fan service. There's a lot of fan favorites in this. They show Clayface. They show, Deathstrike.
Yeah.
That's him right there. They show Luthor. They show... who's the evil guy with ice powers? Not Captain Cold, but he's good in this. And he's a kid. He's younger. He's been in Young Justice. I don't remember his name. He's more of like a C-lister, but he's in here. Clayface is in here, and he's part of the Alliance.
Clayface actually looked pretty awesome in this.
Oh yeah, he did.
For being a lame villain, he actually looked awesome.
And it interested me right away because it was like he absorbed people into him and then would like use those attributes, of those people. That was really cool. You also see Aqualad. That was cool to see that Aqualad's different. He's on the evil side. You see Orm, Aquaman's brother. He's essentially. I feel like he's more or less the same character though. Like he hasn't really changed much. Aqualad's different.
I don't know. I don't really know the old 52 Orm that much.
I don't either, but I know the new 52 Orm, and it feels...
It feels like that guy, but
yeah,
they might have changed him in the new 52.
Yeah. So...
Because I know most of Aquaman was really... It wasn't bad, it was just really kind of more lighthearted than it is now.
Yeah. So, but... For me, this scene, I didn't know some of the characters, so I feel like this scene was more for people that are hardcore pre-New 52 fans.
Yeah.
And, there's...
Black Manta.
Black Manta.
Cool to see.
I don't know why I always want to call him Manta Ray.
But it kind of didn't make much sense to see Black Manta there.
Yeah.
It confused me because...
It would make more sense that he would be on the side of the humans. But, so, like I said, mostly fan service, but also this scene shows how evil this Aquaman is.
Yeah.
How different this Aquaman is.
Oh, and this is where they explain the war. It's once he's gets knocked out and he starts getting more memories of this universe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he has the flashbacks to... Well, not flashbacks, really, but...
Yeah.
His memories are starting to align with
this
timeline, almost like the Thor a little bit, sort of, you know, where they he starts to forget, what happened. And so you see Aquaman and Wonder Woman, they create an allegiance, which I think is bad for humanity, or not humanity necessarily, but for, the land-faring people, I guess. I don't know. But, so, the way they explained this, and they did an exponentially better job in the film than the actual book, but I still feel like it could have been done better in this movie.
They show the head. That's so messed up.
Yeah, that was really crazy. But they show it as Aquaman slept with Wonder Woman, and Mera found out. So Mera attacks
Wonder Woman.
So Wonder Woman
kills Mera,
and then his people find out, so they want revenge. They want war with their people. And this shows how the Flashpoint Batman became, as well as another character. But yeah, you see dead Bruce there, and this is really intense. This moment.
Oh, and I love when he's beating on the robber guy, and it's just it shows you how much different Thomas Wayne is.
And there's the revelation of the Joker. Like you said, way more personal.
Yeah, is that really like the actual Joker is his wife, or is it?
They don't show it in the books. They don't show that at all, and that's exactly why I say the movie does such a better job.
It would be nice to know
the side characters.
That was just the Joker doing something to his wife, or his wife becomes a Joker.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure his wife is the Joker. Yeah, that's what I got from it.
That's what I thought too, because that makes more sense.
It makes the most sense, yeah.
I love it too, like, it shows you how different Batman is. He's got his flask, and then his guns in the holster.
He has guns, and he has a flask. Now, this moment, was awesome. This moment was really awesome in the film. I felt it was not done as well in the comic.
I think it's because Andy Kubert is a good artist, but there's only so much he can do.
I thought this was awesome, and this part was way better in the movie. Where with Superman, it was better in the movie than it was the book. Like I said, the biggest weakness of the book is the other characters, that they don't show enough of the other characters. Now they're showing these experiments in here, and something that I heard is that, and there's something that they talk a little bit about it, and it's really interesting in the book, is there wasn't just one subject. Because it's not Superman, it's subject. It's subject one, not Superman one. Or it's not Superman, it's subject. So you see the big S, it's for subject. It's not for Superman.
It's crazy to see him in the suit and then the red sun.
To see him in this state, he's anorexic, he's pale, he looks malnourished. I also like how he really does seem alien. Now, this scene is something that is also, it's not necessarily wrong with the animation, but it's different. It changes to 3D CG right here, and it looks a little odd because it's a little jarring, because it's not what you're used to seeing throughout the rest of this film. It's, like I said, not bad, just different, So that was another thing that was slightly off with the animation. Right there. This is another thing they changed in the movie, but I think was handled better in the movie.
Yeah. I like how they kind of have everything showing up gradually.
Yeah.
he was still frail, even though he was in the sunlight for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then he can't control his laser.
It was awesome. What's your overall thoughts about the movie?
Well, despite the awkward animation,
some parts, not overall. I mean, Flash looked great, whether he was in 3D CG or just regular. Like, this part's awesome.
I love how cool all the Flash animation was just nailed.
Yes.
Down. I didn't care that it looked a little different in some parts.
Uh-huh.
Because even when it looked a little different, it
still
was
worked.
Awesome.
It was still awesome, yeah.
And
the 3D CG stuff was still really cool.
And, you know, when I think about it, it is one of the better DC movies. May not be better than All-Star or Dark Knight Returns, but it's still really high up there.
I think it was... I think where it did good was, I think it's better than the book. Like, now, honestly, if you really have to choose when it comes down to money, if you really had to choose, I would say watch the movie instead of the book. Now, if you don't have to choose, get both and appreciate both for its differences. You know, like a hardcore nerd, a true comic book nerd, would get both and compare and contrast, like us. But I'm saying for you personally. Now, if you're not that kind of person, I say movie's awesome. Get the movie. I think it's not a lot better than the book, but it's slightly better than the book. You know, it keeps it. It doesn't. It's not too complex. The books make it a little more. They simplify things, and I think that's better. You know, and that's something that I felt they did good in the New 52. Is certain things that were too complex, they simplified and they made more understandable, and that's good. That's awesome. You know, overall, it's just the story was really awesome. The thing that the Flash. I'm obsessed with the Flash now. I mean, I try to wear my Flash shirt, my Flash underwear as often as possible. What do you give it, Ambassador?
I give it a strong buy.
I give it a strong buy too. The extras are always awesome as usual. You know,
I've watched this about 6 times already.
Yeah, I've watched it a lot of times too. It's one of those where you're gonna watch multiple times because it's worth watching. It's you're gonna want to watch it. You know, you're gonna see more every time you watch it. You're gonna see something. You're gonna realize more. Like I read more into the Aquaman Wonder Woman's part as the more I watched it, and I understood it more as the more I watched it. Now, should you have to do that? No. But it's good to at the same time.
It was just a nice, pleasant surprise. Because, you know, sometimes I don't like it when I just watch a movie like once and then don't watch it again. It doesn't feel like it's worth getting, if that's the case. This one, I could watch it once, still get everything I need out of it. But if I watch it again, it's a great bonus.
So, well, that's it for us here at Talk Nerdy to Me. Keep those eyes hungry for
comics.